When she says, I was thinking about you, it may seem like just a passing remark, but in reality, it's one of the most telling signs that something deeper is beginning to form. People think about hundreds of things during the day, work, chores, errands, random memories, but the human mind doesn't linger on something unless it holds emotional weight. When you've entered her thoughts enough for her to verbalize it, you've made a shift from being part of the background noise to being a central figure in her mental space. That statement reveals that you've begun to occupy mental real estate in her mind, and not because she has nothing else to think about, but because your presence, whether physical or through memory, triggers a feeling she finds valuable. Think about the way the brain works with attachment. Our thoughts tend to loop around the things we either desire, feel, or deeply care about. It's not random. She was just mildly interested, or treating you like any other acquaintance. Your name might not even cross her lips in conversation, but the fact that she's willing to tell you directly that she was thinking about you means she's choosing to share her internal world. That's vulnerability in its earliest form. She's opening the door just a crack to let you see that you're not just someone she interacts with. You're someone who lives rent-free in her thoughts. And here's the deeper part, the moment she tells you, I was thinking about you. She's testing the waters. She's observing how you react, what your body language says, whether your eyes light up, whether you lean in or brush it off. She's looking to see if the interest is mutual, but more importantly, she's gauging if you can handle the fact that you matter to her. This isn't just about romance, it's about emotional alignment. People share personal admissions like this only when they feel there's a safe space for them to land. So if she says it, it means she's starting to believe you are that safe space. When someone begins to think about you often, they start associating you with moments in their day. It could be something as small as hearing a song and remembering the way you laughed about its lyrics. It could be seeing a place you once visited together and feeling a pang of warmth. It could be recalling a joke you told at the perfect moment. These seemingly tiny connections create an emotional web in her mind, linking you to positive emotional triggers. Over time, those connections grow stronger, and the thought becomes less of a fleeting image and more of a presence that lingers. There's also an element of subconscious attraction at work here. The human mind doesn't waste energy replaying scenarios that mean nothing to us. So, if she's admitting you've been on her mind, it means her subconscious is processing you, evaluating how you make her feel, and quietly placing you in a category of importance. She may not have even decided consciously that she's developing feelings, but her thoughts reveal the truth long before her words fully articulate it. That's why I was thinking about you carries so much weight. It's a window into her internal state before she even labels it as attraction or affection. Consider how rare it is for most people to admit they were thinking about someone. Many times we think about people we care for, but we don't say it. We keep it to ourselves because it feels intimate. It feels revealing. When she decides to let you in on that thought, she's letting you know that her guard is lowering. She's choosing to show her cards, even if just a little. It's her way of giving you a clue without outright confessing her feelings that you're different from the rest. This kind of statement also tends to come wrapped in subtle emotional cues. Pay attention to her tone when she says it. Is there a softness in her voice? Does she hold your gaze a little longer than usual? Is there a hint of a smile playing on her lips? These small details can speak volumes. Words are only part of the message. Her body language often tells you how much emotion is behind those words. When she says she's been thinking about you, it's not just about the past moments that triggered the thought. It's about her present state of mind. She's letting you know that in her world, you're not just passing through. You're starting to take root. And when someone takes root in our thoughts, it changes the way we move through our day. We start to look forward to interactions, to crave the energy they bring, to replay conversations in our heads. This is how feelings grow, one thought at a time, repeated until it becomes a constant presence. Over time, these admissions will evolve. I was thinking about you might turn into, I couldn't stop thinking about you. And that's when you'll know you've moved even deeper into her emotional orbit. But it always starts with this simple, seemingly innocent statement. The first time she says it, it's a signpost. It's telling you, if you know how to listen, that something is changing beneath the surface. When she says, I feel safe with you, those words reach far deeper than most people realize. Safety is not just about locked doors and quiet streets. It's about emotional refuge. It's about being in the presence of someone who makes your guard drop without even realizing it. For most people, safety is the foundation upon which any deeper connection is built. Without it, love struggles to take root. So when she tells you she feels safe with you, she's telling you something powerful that In a world full of noise, uncertainty, and judgment, she's found a space in you where she can simply be. This feeling of safety often develops quietly. It doesn't happen in a single conversation or a grand romantic gesture. It grows through the small things, the way you listen without interrupting, the way you keep her confidence when she shares something vulnerable, the way you respond calmly when she's upset. She begins to notice that in your presence. She can breathe more deeply. She can talk without filtering every word. She can let the silence linger without feeling awkward. And slowly, the part of her that is always on guard with others starts to relax around you. You have to understand that safety is not a gift people hand out freely. For many, it's something they've had to fight for or protect fiercely. The world teaches us to keep our defenses high, to be careful who we trust. So, for her to admit that she feels safe with you means you've already passed a series of unspoken tests. She's been watching, not in a suspicious way, but in a natural human way, to see if your words match your actions, if your promises are more than just talk, if your character is consistent, no matter who's watching. Safety in her eyes comes from reliability. And once she sees it in you, she starts to lean in. When a woman feels safe with you, it's not just about trust in the moment. It's about trust in the future. It's knowing that if life throws a storm her way, you won't vanish. It's knowing that her mistakes won't be weaponized against her, that her emotions won't be dismissed, and that her dreams won't be belittled. This kind of security allows her to dream bigger, open up more, and invest emotionally without fear that she'll regret it later. There's also a deeper psychological element at play. Humans are wired to seek environments and relationships where they can lower their cortisol, the stress hormone, and increase oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Feeling safe is directly tied to that biochemical reality. In your presence, if she feels calm instead of tense, understood instead of judged, she's not just enjoying the interaction. Her body is associating you with comfort and peace. That's not something easily forgotten. Over time, that association strengthens the emotional connection between you, making you not just someone she likes, but someone she depends on for emotional stability. Safety also shows up in how she communicates with you. When she starts to share her fears, her insecurities, her past struggles, it's because she trusts you won't use them to hurt her. It means she believes you have the emotional maturity to hold her truth without twisting it. And every time you respond with empathy, you're reinforcing that belief. You're showing her that you're not just a safe place to land, you're a safe place to stay. Sometimes this feeling of safety is revealed in subtle ways. It's in the way she laughs more freely around you without worrying how she looks. It's in the way she lets her hair down, literally and figuratively, because she doesn't feel the need to be perfectly composed. It's in the way she stops checking her phone when she's with you, because she's not looking for an escape from the moment. Safety is not always about the dramatic, I trust you with my life moments. It's in the everyday comfort of simply being herself. When she says she feels safe with you, she's also expressing that you've created an environment where her authenticity is not only accepted, but welcomed. You're not asking her to be anyone else. You're not comparing her to someone from your past. You're not keeping score of her flaws and strengths. You're present with her as she is, and that's rare. Most people, without even realizing it, project expectations on others, forcing them into roles they didn't sign up for. When she feels safe, it's because she senses you're not doing that to her. You're letting her be the author of her own story while still being a trusted part of it. Safety, once established, becomes the soil where love, passion, and long-term connection can grow. Without it, relationships are built on shaky ground, vulnerable to misunderstandings and insecurities. With it, there's room for vulnerability, for deeper emotional exchanges, for dreams to be shared and pursued together. And the beautiful thing is, the more she feels safe, the more she will naturally open her heart. It's not a decision she has to think through logically. Her emotions will lead her there. When she says those words, I feel safe with you, it's not just a compliment, it's a confession. It's her way of telling you that you've become someone she doesn't have to guard herself against, that you're one of the few people in her life who makes the world feel less sharp and more soft. And in her mind, that kind of safety is the first sign that maybe, just maybe, she's found someone worth giving her heart to. When she says, you make me smile, it might sound lighthearted, almost casual, but beneath those 4 words is a deep and meaningful truth. Smiles are not just reflexes, they are emotional responses, physical reflections of what's happening inside a person's heart. When she tells you that you make her smile, she's acknowledging that you are a source of joy in her life, someone who shifts her mood in a positive direction simply by being present, by speaking, by existing in her space. This isn't just about a momentary grin. It's about the feeling you evoke in her and the memory you leave behind. Think about it. Life is busy, stressful, and often overwhelming. People go through entire days without finding a reason to genuinely smile. Yet, here she is pointing out that you specifically can trigger that feeling in her. That means you're not just blending in the background of her life. You're standing out. You're a bright spot, an interruption to her routine that leaves her lighter than before. This is not accidental. Our emotions are tied to the way we perceive someone's energy, and when she's telling you that you make her smile, she's signaling that your energy resonates with hers. It's not only about humor. Yes, maybe you made a witty comment or told a joke, but the smile she's talking about is more than louder. It's connection. It's the kind of smile that comes when someone feels seen, understood, and appreciated. Sometimes it's sparked by something small, a kind gesture, a thoughtful message, the way you remembered something she mentioned weeks ago. In those moments, she's smiling not because you're trying to be funny, but because you've made her feel special, and making someone feel special plants seeds of affection that grow naturally over time. There's also an emotional safety in being able to smile around someone. If she's telling you that you make her smile, she's telling you that she can relax around you, that her guard drops, that even on days when she's not at her best, your presence has the power to lift her. People don't associate that kind of emotional shift with just anyone. It comes from someone who has already begun to matter to them. A smile is a universal language. It's the brain's way of saying, this is good for me. I like this. I want more of this. When she acknowledges that you make her smile, she's essentially telling you that your presence improves emotional state. And here's the thing. Humans are drawn to whatever makes them feel good. It's basic psychology. If she feels better when you're around, she will subconsciously start seeking more time with you, more conversations, more moments that give her that feeling. This is how attraction deepens, not always through grand declarations, but through repeated positive emotional experiences. Sometimes the way she says it reveals even more. If her voice softens, if she pauses before saying it, if she tilts her head slightly or holds your gaze, it's because she's not just making a statement, she's expressing gratitude. She's letting you know that you've impacted her in a way that not everyone can. And every time you create one of those moments for her, you're strengthening the emotional bond between you, whether you realize it or not. Smiles also carry memory. Long after the conversation is over or the moment has passed, she will remember how she felt when you made her smile. She may recall where she was, what you said, or even the look in your eyes. That memory becomes a reference point, an emotional anchor she can return to whenever she thinks about you. The more positive anchor she has connected to you, the more natural it becomes for her feelings to deepen. Another layer to this is that telling someone, you make me smile, is a subtle way of giving them permission to continue doing so. It's like she's saying, I like what you bring into my life. Keep doing that. She's encouraging the connection without needing to spell it out. It's her way of letting you know that your efforts, whether intentional or not, are noticed and appreciated. And when someone feels appreciated, they naturally want to invest more in the relationship. It's worth noticing when she chooses to say it. Sometimes she'll say it in a light moment after a playful exchange. Other times she might say it when you've done something deeply thoughtful or reassuring. The timing matters because it reveals what kind of moments make her feel connected to you. Pay attention and you'll learn exactly how to deepen that connection even more. When she says you make her smile, she's not just talking about that one moment. She's talking about the pattern you've begun to create in her life. It's a pattern of lightness, positivity, and warmth that stands out against everything else she experiences day to day. And the truth is, people rarely forget the ones who bring that kind of energy into their lives. It's not just that you make her smile now, it's that she begins to associate you with happiness itself. And once that association is made, it becomes one of the strongest emotional bonds two people can have. When she says, I miss you, those three words may seem simple, but they carry a depth of emotion that's easy to overlook. Missing someone is not a casual state. It's the mind and heart working together to tell you that a person's presence becomes important, that their absence is felt on an emotional level. People do not miss what they do not value. When she admits that she misses you, she's revealing that you've become a part of her emotional rhythm. And when you're not there, something feels incomplete. This feeling doesn't just appear overnight. It's built over time through shared moments, conversations that left an impact, and the comfort of knowing you're there. Each positive interaction adds another thread to the connection between you. Then, when you're not around, those threads tug at her, reminding her of how she feels when you are. Missing you means she's grown accustomed to the way you fit into her life. And without that presence, there's a noticeable space. That space is what she's pointing to when she says, oh, I miss you. It's important to understand that people miss different things about others. Sometimes it's the laughter, the inside jokes that no one else gets. Sometimes it's the way you listen without judgment, making her feel heard and understood. Sometimes it's the way you carry yourself, the calm or excitement you bring in a room. Whatever it is, when she misses you, it means she's attached to more than just your physical presence. She's attached to the energy and emotion you bring with you. Missing someone also reveals the depth of comfort they've provided. In a world that's often fast-paced and demanding, finding someone whose presence feels like relief is rare. When you become that for her, your absence isn't just a gap in her schedule. It's a gap in her emotional well-being. The mind recognizes this contrast quickly. The longer you're away, the more she thinks about how things feel different without you, and the more she begins to long for your return. There's also a vulnerability in telling someone you miss them. For many people, admitting that feeling is risky. It exposes the fact that they care, that they notice the difference when you're gone. This kind of openness is rarely given to just anyone. When she tells you directly, I miss you, she's trusting that you'll respect the sentiment and not use it against her. It's a small but significant leap of faith, a way of saying, I feel your absence enough to voice it, and I trust you with that truth. Sometimes the weight of, I miss you, depends on when and how she says it. If it's after a few days apart, it means she's been thinking about you and looking forward to reconnecting. If it's after just a short time apart, hours, maybe even minutes, it signals that you've become a source of immediate emotional fulfillment for her. The shorter the gap it takes for her to miss you, the deeper the attachment is becoming. There's a psychological pull at play here too. Absence heightens appreciation. When we can't have something or someone, we become more aware what they bring into our lives. In her mind, your absence highlights all the little things she enjoys about being around you. She starts replaying conversations in her head, remembering moments that made her laugh, thinking about how your presence changes her mood. Each memory reinforces her desire to have you back in her immediate experience. Even the way she expresses it can reveal layers of meaning. Sometimes she'll say it with a smile, making it light and playful, as if to test your reaction. Other times she'll say it quietly, almost like a confession, because the feeling is strong and real. And sometimes she won't use those exact words, but will hint at them, asking when she'll see you again, talking about something that made her think of you, or mentioning how different things feel without you there. All of these are variations of the same truth. She misses you, and she's hoping you feel the same. When someone starts missing you, it means they've integrated you into their emotional world. You're not just an acquaintance or a passing interest. You're someone who holds a piece of their attention and affection even when you're not physically present. That kind of presence in someone's mind is one of the clearest indicators that feelings are developing. It's not forced. It's not logical. It's an involuntary pull toward the person who makes life feel a little brighter, a little warmer, a little more complete. When she says, I want to hear your opinion, it's not just a polite gesture or an empty phrase. It's a sign that she values the way you think, that your perspective holds weight in her world. People don't seek the opinions of those they don't respect or trust. When she's asking for your thoughts, it means she sees you as someone whose insight can shape her decisions, influence her understanding, and even challenge her perspective in a way she welcomes. This is about more than curiosity. It's about emotional investment. Think about the nature of decision making. Most people keep their choices within a trusted circle family, close friends, mentors, or people they've built a deep bond with. If she's inviting you into that circle, it means you've passed the test of trust. You've shown her that you're not dismissive and that you're not quick to judge, and that you approach situations with thoughtfulness. She believes you'll consider her best interests even when your opinion differs from hers. That belief doesn't come easily. It's earned over time through consistency and authenticity. When she wants to hear your opinion, she's not just asking for facts or logic. She's looking for the emotional reassurance that comes with knowing she's not navigating her thoughts alone. It's her way of saying, your perspective matters to me. I feel more confident when I know what you think. This kind of exchange strengthens emotional intimacy because it's built on mutual respect. She trusts that you'll give her an honest answer, and she's signaling that your words carry enough significance to potentially shape her path forward. There's also a deeper layer to this. Seeking someone's opinion often means that their way of thinking inspires admiration. Maybe she's noticed how you solve problems calmly, how you break down complex situations into clear steps, or how you see possibilities others overlook. Maybe she's drawn to your sense of morality or your unique approach to challenges. Whatever the reason, She's telling you indirectly that your mental process impresses her, and she wants more of it in her life. The topic she seeks your opinion on can reveal even more. If she's asking about casual things, movies, restaurants, hobbies, it shows she enjoys aligning her choices with yours, even in small ways. If she's asking about deeper matters, life goals, career changes, family issues, that's a sign you've crossed into the realm of emotional partnership. She's not just involving you in the surface layer of her life. She's opening the door to the decisions that shape her future. That kind of openness is rarely given unless feelings are forming. It's also important to notice how she responds to your opinion. If she listens attentively, asks follow-up questions, and genuinely considers your perspective, it means she's not asking out of politeness. She's invested in understanding your mind. Plus, this kind of engagement creates a stronger emotional connection because it's not one-sided. It's an exchange of thought that allows both of you to learn more about each other's values, priorities, and beliefs. Sometimes seeking your opinion is her way of building shared experiences. By involving you in her thought process, she's creating a sense of, well, instead of me, she's subtly including you in her personal narrative, allowing your voice to help shape the outcomes in her life. Over time, this builds a deeper bond because you're not just a spectator, you're an active participant in her journey. There's also vulnerability here. Asking for your opinion means opening herself to the possibility that you might disagree or challenge her thinking. It means trusting you to handle that difference with respect and kindness. If she feels safe enough to risk that, it's because she's already started to see you as someone who supports her growth, not someone who will use disagreement as a wedge between you. Sometimes she might ask for your opinion even when she already knows what she wants to do. In those moments, it's less about needing guidance and more about wanting to feel connected to you. She wants to see if your thoughts align with hers, to share in the satisfaction of mutual understanding, or to spark a conversation that deepens the bond between you. The act of asking becomes less about the answer and more about the connection it creates. When she consistently seeks your perspective, it's a strong indicator that she's weaving you into the fabric of her daily life. She's giving you influence over her choices, trusting that your voice will help guide her in the right direction. And influence is never given lightly. It's reserved for those we respect, admire, and often care for on a level that's beginning to surpass the ordinary. When she says, I'm glad you're in my life, it may sound like a simple statement of appreciation, but in truth, it's a deeply personal acknowledgement that you've moved into a space of significance for her. People meet countless individuals in their lifetime, yet very few leave an imprint strong enough to be worth verbalizing. When she tells you she's glad you're in her life, she's not just expressing gratitude for something you did in the moment. She's recognizing your overall impact on her journey. This is her way of letting you know that your presence has made her world better, brighter, and more meaningful. This kind of statement doesn't come out of nowhere. It's built over time through experiences that have consistently shown her who you are. Maybe it's the way you've been there when she needed someone to listen, the way you've celebrated her wins without jealousy, or the way you've made ordinary moments feel special. Whatever the reasons, she has been taking mental notes. Those notes have added up to a conclusion. Life is richer with you in it. When she voices that, it's an emotional milestone because she's shifting from viewing you as just someone she knows to someone she values on a deeper level. There's also a strong element of trust in this admission. Saying, I'm glad you're in my life, is essentially telling you that she's opened a part of her heart to you. She's allowing you to see that you've had a positive influence on her. This kind of openness often comes with a little vulnerability because it's a confession of attachment. She's saying, without directly saying, that losing you would leave a noticeable void. People rarely give that kind of acknowledgement unless they're emotionally invested. When someone expresses that they're glad you're in their life, it also speaks to the role you play in their personal growth. Perhaps you've inspired her to think differently, encouraged her during a challenging time, or helped her see her own strengths more clearly. It might not always be something dramatic. Sometimes it's just the quiet reassurance of knowing someone has her back. The steadiness of that support becomes a pillar she can lean on, and over time, she begins to associate you with stability, encouragement, and positivity. The timing when she says it can also reveal a lot. If it comes during a calm, intimate conversation, it's likely coming from a place of deep reflection. If it's after a shared experience, like overcoming a problem together, achieving something side by side, or even laughing through a silly moment, it's her way of marking that memory as something valuable tied directly to you. Either way, she's attaching emotional meaning to your presence. It's worth noticing that she's not just saying, I like having you around. She's saying she's glad, happy, even grateful that you're part of her life. Gladness is a higher form of appreciation than simple enjoyment. It suggests that she recognizes your influence as positive and perhaps even transformative. You're not just another passing connection. You're becoming woven into her sense of what makes her life better. In many ways, this phrase is also an invitation. It's her subtle way of encouraging the relationship, whether friendship, romance, or something still developing, to deepen. She's signaling that you're safe to invest in because you've already proven your value to her in ways that matter. And once someone reaches that point, they often start envisioning you in more of their future moments, consciously or not. Another layer to this is that saying, I'm glad you're in my life, often comes after a silent comparison. She's probably encountered people who've disappointed her, let her down, or failed to show up when it counted. Against that backdrop, your consistency and authenticity stand out even more. She's recognizing that you're not just another person passing through. Your presence is a choice she would make again, and that realization is powerful. Sometimes she might express it directly in words, while other times she'll say it in actions, prioritizing time with you, introducing you to people who matter to her, or going out of her way to support you. But when she does put it into words, it's a deliberate choice. Words like this are memorable because they hold emotional weight. Long after the moment has passed out, you'll remember that she said it, and chances are she meant for you to remember. When she tells you she's glad you're in her life, it's not just about the past moments you've shared. It's about the continuing presence she hopes to keep. It's her way of reinforcing the bond, of letting you know that you're not just an extra in the background of her story. You've become part of the main cast. And when then someone moves into that role in another person's life, it's one of the clearest signs that feelings are growing stronger, that the connection is shifting from casual to meaningful, and that in her mind, you're becoming irreplaceable.